Hey, Joe Quarantin. I got that Star Valley Medical Center report, and real report, if you think about it. First off, it's got multiple dates on it, and that doesn't make any sense at all, because I got it before November 1st, and the thing up here for, I guess, it being Baxter's or whatever was November 18th. And I got it before then from my attorney. Second, it has 10/23/2014 on it. Well, that doesn't make any sense either, because I know my attorney had it before then. And, oh yeah. Then, let's get to where my daughter was admitted for what this report is talking about. And that is at 10/23/2014 at 11:31 in the morning. And it's talking about her having bladder issues. Well, the thing is, you're trying to use this against me in court. But that doesn't make any sense. The only way you can use a report like this against me in court is if my daughter and my son are in my custody. But they're not in my custody. It's not my physical custody anyways. And you're trying to use a report that was done up while they're in foster care against me. But let's get back to the report itself. The report says she was checked in at 11:31 a.m. on 10/23/2014. Well, it doesn't make any sense, because whenever my daughter goes to see a doctor, she's always been in there with the doctor for at least 45 minutes to an hour. Any and all parents know this. Now, she was checked in at 11:31. Then she was checked out at 11:34. Now, that doesn't make any sense at all, because the simple fact is, that means the doctor visit was 3 minutes long. But they had time enough to check her bladder, analyze how much she had in urine in her bladder, and everything else that was going on with her bladder, which I know takes over 45 minutes for them to take and do all those tests with the child there anyways. And then it's going into all this other information that it's talking about with my daughter's bladder. And you know what? Like I said, it doesn't make any sense. 3 minutes for doing all these different tests and everything. And then on top of it, on the third page of the report, it has a completely different date on it, from 9/20/2014. Well, that doesn't make any sense either. That would mean that she would have had to have 3 different appointments for it to have 3 different dates so far. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense either. And then on top of it, this is supposed to be a 5 to 6 page report, and I've only got 4 of the pages. And it's still, even on the 4th page, it has a different date of 9/18, or is that 6? No, I think that's a 6. I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on that. 9/16/2014. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That means there's more than one date. And then there's another date of 19/2014 at 9 something. Doesn't say if it's in the morning or in the evening, but I'm going to guess it is more than likely in the morning, considering that there's no way that my daughter's going to be seen by a doctor at a children's clinic or whatnot at 9 o'clock at night. But, yeah, this thing's got so many different dates on it, it's not even funny. I don't even have the full report. And let's not even get me started on anything else, because obviously someone's doing something wrong or illegal, and it's not me. I wonder who it is, Joel. After all, you're the one that took my kids based on information that was never investigated. And that report was that my ex-wife supposedly wasn't feeding our kids. Well, you already knew that we had a food supply, and I still have a food supply going right now. But you knew that we had a food supply going. You knew we had a lay-down freezer full of food, shelves of food. And you knew our refrigerator was full of food, including the freezer portion of that refrigerator, by the way. So I don't see how you can possibly believe a report that was made a month and a half later from doctors that hadn't even seen my kids for a month and a half. But they turn around and make a report when they hadn't even seen my kids for that time period, saying that supposedly my ex-wife wasn't feeding her kids. My question is are these doctors mind readers now? They can just read someone's mind and know that there's something illegal going on? Oh wait, that's not possible. No one's that smart. Not even a doctor. So I guess the doctors filed a false report that was based on a lie, just so you can turn around and take my kids out of the home. Joel, that's all illegal. Falsifying reports just so you can take the kids out of the house, that's illegal. It's called falsifying evidence. And one other thing, when I sue the state, and I will be suing the state of Idaho, after I get done, you will more than likely not have a job. But it's already too late. You've already committed perjury. You've taken my kids illegally out of the house without doing an investigation on the allegations on why you even took the kids. And then on top of it, you know the full truth about what happened that got the CP case opened up to begin with. Because my ex-wife told you the whole entire story. And you haven't even told the judge about that. Now, isn't that called, what is that? Hiding the truth from the judge? And then you turn around and tell the judge lies all the friggin' time. It's not even funny. I've lost track of how many times you've lied to the judge. I really have. There's one thing I know, Joel, and it is, in the Bible, it says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor or about thy neighbor." In fact, that's one of the 10 Commandments. And when that scripture was made, They were talking about anyone right next to you being your neighbor. So that means the person standing next to you, sitting next to you, even in their vehicle, right next to your vehicle, is considered your neighbor. And that's one of the reasons why we're sworn in with the Bible under oath. Because it has that in there. Because you're not just swearing to the judge to tell the truth. You're swearing to God himself that you're going to tell the truth. And I'm sorry to say, Joel, I don't think you're on the right track to getting back into heaven. I really don't think you're on the right track at all. And the same thing goes for Casa. Don't even get me started on Casa's bullshit. I've got video of them saying one thing to us and then turning around and saying something completely different in court. Yeah, I've been videotaping you guys over there at Casa. I got smart. And all my video has the time and date stamp. I'm not being stupid with you guys. Although, everyone keeps saying that supposedly I don't have the intelligence to take care of my kids. Well, obviously, I'm intelligent enough to make sure that I'm using time and date stamps for video. I'm videotaping everything that you guys say or do. Well, that shows intelligence. And then, let's see. Oh, you tell me, Joel, that my finances are in the thing. Well, you lied to me on that as well. Because I looked at the paperwork, the current paperwork for this case, and it says nothing at all about my finances being a part of anything. In fact, you violated the judge's court order for reunification. Because, let's see, and which was a prerequisite before termination could even be done, you know? Well, I was just popping my knuckles. Anyways, the judge court ordered that you are to do reunification no matter what before you can go for termination. Well, you didn't even do that because you haven't filed no paperwork with the judge for showing how reunification is going to happen or anything. I know that for a fact. Second, if you had, I would have documentation on that said paperwork. Well, I don't even have that. So, how many more lies are you going to try to tell in order to take my kids from me? Illegally, by the way. Because I can prove you've been lying about every single aspect of this case. Just by whatever you say or do. And I have all the text messages from you, Joel. Because with my cell phone, I can set the limit of text messages that my phone can have saved. And all those text messages will be used against you in the courtroom. And I guarantee that. My new attorney that I've got, from what I've been told, he's just as good, if not better, than Scott Heidi, I think it is. Yeah, Scott Heidi. He's just as good, if not better, than Scott Heidi. And I'm pretty sure after he sees all the evidence that I've got, he's going to get this case turned around real quick. And which means your butt's in deep doo-doo, because I'm also going to have my attorney file the paperwork to have an investigation done on you, Joel. See, I'm not playing games with you anymore. You may think I've been playing games, but I'm not. I told you, Joel, and I even have it on video recording, that I would do anything in my power in order to get my kids back. I will do whatever I have to accomplish that. And obviously, you were not listening to what I was saying or when I was saying it. Now, that's not my fault. That's your own. And obviously, you don't listen. Or even really pay full attention either. Because after all, you haven't done one thing right in any way, shape, or form. So, I would like to see what you're going to try and do next. Oh wait, you're going to probably try to falsify some more CP documents to use against me, in which I'm guessing you've probably been doing already. But one other thing you should know, to use previous CP case information, that's treading on double jeopardy, if I'm not mistaken. Because the previous CP case was closed correctly, without any problems whatsoever. Everything was dealt with. But this CP case wasn't opened up against me. This CP case was opened up against my now ex-wife, not me. So how you're even keeping this case going is beyond my understanding. Because I've been trying to figure this out. Because I also know it's illegal to try to terminate someone's rights based on disability or financial. Because it's called discrimination. It's called discrimination against mental disabilities or discrimination against financial. So, I wonder what real information you're going to try to pull out of a little bitty hat that you may or may not have in that courtroom. And I wonder how many of those 16 people are going to be lying about me in that courtroom. They're going to be trying to pull in there. In fact, 2 of the people that are supposedly on your guys' list have been informed about it from me. They haven't received jack squat from you guys at all. In which I think is kind of funny, considering the fact that they're on your guys' witness list. And let's see, if I'm not mistaken, they should have been informed by now by you guys that they were going to be testifying against me. Oh, but wait, they're not going to really be able to say anything bad about me either in that courtroom. Because I already know what they're going to say. And this is the best part. I want them in the courtroom. I want Cheryl Castle, or, excuse me, she got married, her last name changed. Cheryl Smith. It's not Castleton anymore. It's Cheryl Smith. I want her in the courtroom because she can verify that the house being a mess wasn't even my fault. When I was saying that I was trying to keep the house clean, I was telling the truth. The only one that was making the house a mess was my ex-wife. And see, one other thing. With John, I can't remember his last name offhand, but you know who I'm talking about. But with him, he's got nothing but good things to say about me as well. Same thing with Cheryl. So, what you're going to try and pull in the courtroom, I don't even know. But I do know this. You're not going to win. Because I've got enough video evidence showing that I am a good parent. From 4-day visits. And if you had been doing reunification, the visits should be twice a week and for over 3 hours at a time. And then there should have been weekend visits, in which neither one of those two things have happened. And then the third stage of reunification is the kids should have been back in the house. Well, you've had 6 or 7 months now to do reunification. What's taking you so long to do it? You know? Because obviously, you don't know what you're doing. You haven't had this job for very long. You've had it for less than 2 years. So you're really not an expert witness in any way, shape, or form. You have a college degree. Whatever. Anyone can get a college degree or a piece of paper that says that they've got this here information or that they've completed these courses in college. But that doesn't mean that you're actually smart enough or using your common sense at all. I know you're not using your common sense because you keep screwing up with this case. And I keep telling you, you screwed up. You keep screwing up. And that you're going to lose because you keep screwing up. And I've pointed out multiple times in multiple ways how you're going to lose. And I'm sorry to say, it's just a done deal. You are going to lose. And there's nothing I'm going to do to, help you out on trying to win. I've got enough video, I've got enough photos, I've got enough of everything to show that I'm a good parent. Hell, I even have a video recording of my ex-wife stating what's really been going on with this case. Oh yeah, I've got one of those, in which it's going to be used in court. I'm also going to put a copy of it on YouTube for everyone to see. I've also got a signed, well, not literally signed, but typed up statement by my ex-wife that was intended for the FBI to be used in the courtroom as well. So whatever information she's told you, I know she's committed perjury by doing it, because I've got enough evidence to go against whatever she has recently stated to you, in which falsifying evidence like that or committing perjury or whatever, she can go to jail. And I hope you remind her about that next time you talk to her, because she needs to know that she can go to jail for committing perjury against the information that I have on what she has already stated about everything on this case. And yeah, I do have a video recording of her stating that she told you, Joel, about what she did and everything else, and that you've been hiding this information from the judge. I don't feel sorry for you when the judge throws the book at you and puts your butt in jail for it. I'm not going to feel sorry for you at all. Oh, and one other thing. Did you know it's a violation of my constitutional rights to have my name on a child abuse registry when I have not been convicted of said abuse at all? That is a violation of my constitutional rights. So you may want to get my name taken off from that child abuse registry ASAP, because that's also going to be used against the state when I sue the state as well. So you may want to get my name off those records very quick, because it is a violation of my constitutional rights. And I'm going to point out how it is. Now I'm going to use something else as And let's use, those that commit sex offense type crimes. Well, in order for them to have to register as a sex offender, they have to be convicted of it first. Their name doesn't go onto a sex offense registry at all until after they've been convicted. And my name is on a registry and I haven't even been convicted. Now, let me point out, both things, one, you have to be convicted before your name goes onto the registry. After you're convicted, then you have to register. But my name is on a registry and I have not been convicted at all of said offense. Now, that shows that it is a violation of my constitutional rights, no matter what rules or regulations you have. Just like that one rule or regulation that you guys have that you're not allowed to tell anyone, even though it's a constitutional right for someone to know who their accuser is. That is a constitutional right. And you guys are violating that. The only body of government that can change anything or do anything with the Constitution is Congress. Not the House of Representatives, but Congress. And I'm sorry to say, child protection is not Congress. They do not have the right or authority to have a law passed that violates people's constitutional rights in any way, shape, or form. Especially considering that you are a government agency and you guys are violating people's rights. Come on now. Who really is the ones that need a reality check? Is it me or is it you guys? Personally, I think it's you guys. And I think you guys really need to have your heads examined on that one. And I'm pretty sure everyone out there in the United States will perfectly agree with me that you guys have obviously stated your boundaries on what you guys can and cannot do. In fact, I think you guys keep passing laws in order to be able to do all these illegal things. Just like you guys have that so-called protection umbrella. Well, the only ones that I think that should have a protection umbrella is the Secret Service. But of course, you guys are not protecting the president. In fact, you're not protecting anyone. But you guys have this protection umbrella that keeps you guys from being arrested or anything else. That's not right. That means you guys can pretty much do whatever you feel like and get away with it because of that. And that's not right at all. So, I hope you enjoy the video. It talks about the document that I was talking about. Yeah, I got a little bit off subject, but it was things that I wanted to get off my chest. And like I said, Joel, I don't have nothing to hide. My life's an open book. But of course, you've never gotten my signature in order to get information either, which is illegal, from what I remember. But anyways, have a good day, and see you in court.